It is day 2 of Prime Minister's visit in Varanasi. He's holding a seminar with 12 chief ministers and 9 deputy chief ministers of BJP-ruled states in Varanasi. The topic of discussion, good governance. He's expected to pass on tips on development, COVID fight, vaccination. The meeting is likely to continue for 4 hours, and during this meeting, chief ministers are going to give presentations. A visit to Swarved Mahamandir Dham is also on the itinerary. Swarved Mahamandir is known as the temple of spirituality and has the world's largest meditation center. He's going to be there to attend the 98th anniversary celebrations of Sadhguru Sadafal Deo. After a packed day 1, the Prime Minister made several late-night pit stops in Varanasi. He waved to people on the streets late last night, accompanied by Chief Minister Yogi. He also visited a railway station to inspect development work. He was seen playing with a child on the streets of Varanasi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is not just limited to the temples or divinity of Varanasi. He is very much concerned about the development of this entire city. From where I am reporting from, it is the Banaras railway station, and this is the platform, this is the place where Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with the Chief Minister of UP, Yogi Adityanath, visited around 1:13 p.m. late night yesterday. He came here to inspect the developmental works of entire city of railway station, and this is the place which I am showing you where Prime Minister roamed around with CM Yogi Adityanath and inspected each and everything with every possibility. It's not just limited to the railway station. The meeting with other CMs of BJP at the Shashmed Ghat ended around 12:30 p.m. Thereafter, he went to the Kashi Vishwanath Dham to get the evening and night view and see the developmental works from every possibility with Yogi Adityanath. Thereafter, he went to the streets of Varanasi, and then he reached at this particular place, the Banaras railway station. He picked the late night time because so that the people of Kashi should not face any difficulty and can move hassle-free, because Kashi usually deals with the problem of traffic jam, and his inspection in late night is a clear possibility, is a clear message that Prime Minister is always standing with the people of Kashi and the city of Mahadev. With cameraman Neeraj Kumar, Samarth Srivastava for India Today.
Aishwarya is joining us now live from Swarved Temple in Varanasi. Aishwarya, tell us a little bit more about the temple, the culture, the heritage, the largest meditation center perhaps in the country.
Well, Chaiti, there will, from what we are gathering, there can be 20,000 to 25,000 people. That's the capacity of the temple, which will be inaugurated by the Prime Minister. And we are starting at the rally, which he will then address once he's gone to the temple. Around 3:30, we expect the PM to reach here. People have already started trickling in. From what we are gathering, close to 2 to 3 lakh people are expected in Varanasi. Now, see, Varanasi is the Lok Sabha constituency of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the kind of love that people have been showering on him, it's pretty evident. And when he comes to the temple, to the people who have been associated with the temple will get a glimpse of PM. He will also speak with all the people who will be present at the temple, and then he will come and speak with the locals of Varanasi. We have been seeing how for the past 24 hours PM has been sending a very clear message. The message is he's connected with the people. Even when people were giving gifts to him, we saw yesterday how he stopped his vehicle, he opened the door and he received the gifts. There were a group of women who wanted to click pictures with Prime Minister. That too he obliged. So this 2-day visit is for the PM to tell the people he's standing with them, and obviously we understand the meeting which is taking place at the moment with the chief ministers will also be done keeping in mind what next. We are gathering from our sources, Chaiti, the new variant of COVID is being discussed. We understand the vaccine, how vaccines are being distributed, that is also being discussed. And obviously Uttar Pradesh elections is also something which Prime Minister is discussing with all the chief ministers, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath in particular. Chaiti.
Right. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the Kashi Vishwanath Temple premises were spread across 3,000 square feet before the Kashi Vishwanath Corridor project. Now it is sprawling 5 lakh square feet complex with multiple temples and buildings. But before we prayed at the temple, the Prime Minister took a dip in River Ganga and prayed. The dip has both immense religious and political implications in pole-bound Uttar Pradesh. Here's a look.
माँ गंगा ने मुझे बुलाया, ये शहर मेरे भीतर से उठे हुए शब्द थे। शायद वो शब्द भी नहीं थे, मेरे अंतर मन में चल रही एक आध्यात्मिक प्रवाह की शब्द रूपी वो अभिव्यक्ति थी।
In 2014, Prime Minister Modi said Ma Ganga had brought him to Varanasi. And 6 years on, the Prime Minister's Kashi mission has brought him back to Ma Ganga. Clad in all saffron, with a Rudraksh mala and kalash in hand, no security detail, nobody accompanying him, chanting mantras and offering prayers to Ma Ganga, Prime Minister Modi's Asta helped him overcome the freezing cold as he stood waist deep in the holy Ganges. First taking a holy dip and then chanting mantras with his Rudraksh beads. After offering his prayers, the Prime Minister walked out of the Ganga, a kalash full of holy Ganga Jal to offer to Lord Shiva in the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir. Devotees and locals in Varanasi were elated to witness the holy dip by the Prime Minister in the Ganges.
हमारे काशी वासियों के लिए ये बहुत ही गौरव का पल है. हम इसके साक्षी बन रहे हैं.
मोदी जी को धन्यवाद तो जरूर देंगे कि इतना अच्छा काम करा है यहाँ पे, इतना मंदिर का इतना अच्छा रूप बना दिया. नहीं तो फिर पहले तो कम था, पर अब काशी और ज्यादा प्रचलित हो गई उनके रहने से.
Prime Minister, clad in all saffron, taking a holy dip in the river Ganga with a Rudraksh mala around his head. Giving out a message as well that, the Ganga here is now cleaner than what it was. You can take a dip. With him doing so, that's the kind of messaging he wants to put forth where the river Ganga is concerned.
The last time the Prime Minister took the holy dip in the Ganga was in 2019, months before the general election. And the Prime Minister's dip in all black then had sent political ripples across Uttar Pradesh. This image of the Prime Minister taking the holy dip could be the biggest political headline in the UP election season. Will the Dubki in his Karma Bhumi this time too have political waves? With Preeti Chaudhary, Bureau Report, India Today.
After attacking Prime Minister Akhilesh hit out at the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, there you go. You're getting an attack coming in from Akhilesh Yadav, from the Samajwadi Party chief. He says, and I quote, Yogi Adityanath knew that Ganga is dirty and hence he did not take a dip in the Ganga. Ganga still not clean despite the BJP spending so much, unquote. So Akhilesh pointing out there on Ganga not being clean at the moment, despite a lot of money being spent on the Ganga to keep it clean. It is still not clean according to Akhilesh Yadav. Mohit Sharma is now joining us for the very latest. Mohit, Akhilesh Yadav, he's gone out to point out at the moment that Yogi did not take a dip in the Ganga because it's dirty and it's still not clean despite the BJP spending so much. You're there right at the banks. You've been seeing the river as well. What sense do you make of whether the river is clean or not? Or is this just a political attack?
Well, Chetty, it seems that in the last 2 days, Akhilesh Yadav has come out with 2 different attacks. The first one was on the Prime Minister, which he then recalled. He retracted. He said that it was actually at the BJP government of Uttar Pradesh that which was in the final times. And secondly, now he's come out and taken a jibe at the UP CM as well, going to the tune of saying that despite spending so much of expenses on cleaning of River Ganga, it seemingly is not still clean. Now, on the other hand, you have the BJP, which has been trying its best to give out certain symbolism as well in order to ensure the people that it is much cleaner right now as it was in the previous governments. The pet projects of the Prime Minister, whether we talk about the Namami Gange or yesterday, if you recall those visuals of the Prime Minister himself taking a dip in the river, it was very clear that it was also a symbol of the fact that the Prime Minister has gone out and showed the way to the people as well that hey, look, this is the same river Ganga where people thought which was getting very unclean. There was a lot of sewage and waste that was being dropped into the river, but now it stands much more cleaner, and here I am leading from an example, and you should perhaps follow the same as well.
Akhilesh Yadav
Clearly,
hitting out at the river Ganga, calling it dirty and saying that Yogi Adityanath was aware that Ganga is dirty and hence he did not take a dip, and despite the BJP spending so much money, the Ganga is still dirty. Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav has given out a reaction. Listen in to what he had to say.
सवाल ये है कि माँ गंगा की सफाई होगी कि नहीं होगी। देखिए मुख्यमंत्री जी कितने होशियार हैं, देखिए मुख्यमंत्री जी कितने समझदार हैं कि वो माँ गंगा में डुबकी नहीं लगाए। माँ गंगा में डुबकी क्यों नहीं लगाई? आप सोचिए कितना बजट इसमें चला गया, बजट बह गया, लेकिन कोई नदी साफ नहीं हुई, क्योंकि हमारे मुख्यमंत्री जी जानते हैं कि ये नदियां कोई साफ नहीं है, इसलिए माँ गंगा में डुबकी नहीं लगाई उन्होंने।